And we're live. Hey people, how are you doing? Welcome to episode 261 of the Sports Therapy Association podcast. My name is Matt Phillips, creator of RunChatLive.com. And as always, this episode is being recorded live on the Sports Therapy Association YouTube channel and Facebook on a Tuesday night at 8 p.m. If you're listening to the podcast and you'd like to join us live, then that's where you have to go on a Tuesday at 8 o'clock. For example, already in the house, saying good evening to you all. I'm looking forwards to catching up with you all soon. And that's Gary Benson, founder of the STA. And congratulations, Gary, on your recent hitching. I'm very excited for you and can't wait to see you. And your lovely wife. How does that sound? Also, Nikki Mansfield is here as well, saying, hey, can you believe it's Therapy Expo time already? I know. Once upon a time, we used to say, it's Christmas soon. Now it's Therapy Expo soon, which I think they'd be quite happy about. It's kind of like it's replaced Christmas, isn't that? That's blasphemy, I think. But anyway, and Glenn Murphy's in the house as well. People are flocking in. Very excited to hear about what's the latest that's happening for Therapy Expo. When you do join us live, then obviously you can ask questions to our guests directly, and I get to bring your comments up on the screen. So it's quite a good networking opportunity. If you are listening to the podcast and you fancy doing that, that's all you have to do. 8 o'clock. Sports Therapy Association YouTube channel or Facebook. Right then, so in the previous episode, we celebrated reaching 5 years of weekly podcasts, and I was joined by Emily Gilbert of Framework Sports Massage, who gave us her top 5 things to look out for at an MSK conference, which included discussion about creating a welcome space, diversity in therapists attending, approachability of speakers, having a space for discussion and more. And I know these are themes from having worked with the Therapy Expo team, which they try and do every year as well. So I'm looking forward to hearing about that with them. And in tonight's episode, we will be hearing from them directly, because I'm going to be joined by Therapy Expo content producer Molly Benson, show manager Charlotte Speer. We were going to be joined by Vernon Smead, who I know a lot of you have met, who is the business development manager, but sadly he's not able to be with us tonight, but we send our best wishes to Vernon. I'd also like to take this opportunity, because I don't do it enough, just to mention that I've got, once again, a speaking presentation going on at Therapy Expo. If I don't say it now, no one else is going to say it, are they? So if you are going to Therapy Expo, then if you're free on day 1 at 3:50 p.m. in Theatre B, just before the wonderful Michelle Lyons appears, then I will be delivering this year Mindful Strides, Communication Skills for Working with Runners, and anyone else for that matter. I added that bit recently, and the wonderful staff at Therapy Expo, even after deadline, said, yeah, we can add that on, because it's not just for if you work with runners. I don't want to make people think, oh no, I don't work with runners, that's not really interesting. It's going to be all about communication skills for working with anyone who is human, and it probably works with animals as well, maybe horses as well. So if you do want to improve your communication skills, then do come along to Theatre B on day 1 at 3:50 p.m. I would love to see you. Right, I've got that out of the way. I hate promoting myself on these things, but someone's got to do it, haven't they? So, and I'd love to have people there. It's we all feel it. I've been at Therapy Expo now, probably 2014 was the first year, and I always have these reoccurring dreams. I had one the other night showing I'm thinking about it too much, where you just go in there and there's about 5 people, and one of them's normally asleep. So believe me, however many times you've spoken at these events, you always worry that no one's going to come along. In the end, everyone does, that's fine, but we're only human and we worry about it. So yeah, see you there hopefully. Anyway, back to tonight's episode. Very excited to hear what's fresh at Therapy Expo this year. We'll have details very shortly about discount codes, whether you're an STA member or not, and also about exciting new things happening at the NEC in Birmingham. So do stay tuned as I now bring up our guests for tonight, Molly Benson and Charlotte Speer. Good evening, Molly Benson, Charlotte Speer. How are you?
Hello. Very good, thank you.
Very well, thank you.
Wide awake, not a tired face on screen whatsoever at the moment. Fantastic. You guys have been working hard, haven't you? First of all, I must say, because we had a little chat, thank you so much. I know you've been working really hard, and it has been an effort to think, I've got to do what now? Another hour? But I really appreciate your time. Thank you.
No, we appreciate being asked to do it, as always.
Well, it's worth doing. We've all known each other for a while now. So just give us an idea. Has today been all Therapy Expo? Have you got other things going on as well?
All Therapy Expo. So we work on the show all year round. Molly actually also runs the content for another event called the Care Show. So yeah, she has the pleasure of working across 2 events, but for me it is 100% Therapy Expo for 12 months.
She says with a smile.
And I love it. and I love
Yeah,
it.
you do. Now, everyone who knows you and has seen you there knows that you love it. And I'm sure we'll get treated to another spangly dress this year as you walk around, just illuminating everywhere you walk.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So that, if you listen to the podcast, is Charlotte Speer speaking. And Molly Benson's voice. How are you, Molly?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having us on the podcast again.
Absolute pleasure. We should repeat again, just for people who aren't aware, you are no relation to Gary Benson.
Unfortunately not, no.
Unfortunately not. He'll like that. And I should actually say now that Gary is married, so there's absolutely no chance of anybody listening now. He's gone. You've missed your opportunity, people. Gary Benson has now been taken. So yeah, you've lost your chance, but you can still be his friend. Come along to Therapy Expo and you'll see us there at a stand, but just get rid of any other thoughts you've had. Right, I went on far too long about that. So amazing. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, I think it's important to remember that, Therapy Expo doesn't just happen like, about 2 months to go. Better start looking at that now. It's an all-round thing, isn't it? That starts pretty much the hour before the other one finishes. That's when you're on it. Give us an idea so people don't understand why that process is so long.
I mean, I start quite early out, partly because there's a lot of research involved in my role. It's part of my role is to sort of keep my eyes on the ground and know what's going on in the sector. And that's a year-round thing. That's not just, like you say, the 2 months before the show. So to have an idea of what's going on in sort of government stuff, legislation, funding, workforce, all these massive big picture things. So I talk to people all year round to make sure that the stuff that we do put on in November is reflective of a whole year worth of change and educational updates. So that process starts quite early on.
And even so from our side, who looks after mainly the exhibitors' sponsorship, different sponsorship platforms, so we have to work on the 2026 floor plan 2 weeks ago. So we need to make sure that everything's set up so that we can go on site with new show dates for next year, the save the dates, comms that we're going to be distributing on site, special offers on site, floor plan for next year, the tickets for next year, the different rates we're offering. So yeah, we're as much as we are 4 weeks to go until this year, we are already working on what's going to take place next year, and we've the themes, the ideas, the streams, the speakers, it's which makes it fun. It keeps us going. We're adrenaline junkies.
Yeah, it is. I was just thinking of that. Yeah, you must be bungee jumping or skydiving. It's just, you need it all the time. It's good that people like you exist. Otherwise, because it is a massive show, and I believe looking at the website, just to give people an idea in case you haven't seen the website, all this information is on there. But we're looking at something like over 100 specialist speakers, 150 certified CPD sessions, which I think is more than last year, if I remember rightly, 150 exhibitors, 2,000 delegates expected. Is it bigger than last year?
It is. I mean, that number's gone up. That number needs updating. We're around the more sort of 145 mark for speakers at the moment.
Wow.
So yeah, a big faculty.
A big what, sorry?
Faculty.
Oh, I was just checking. I know you're tired, but no. And was that the intention? Are you going to ever reach a stage where you think, listen, that's probably enough now, let's just deal with what we got? Or is there room for this expansion? And
to be honest, because it is a complete multidisciplinary event, this industry seems to be never ending. So, every year we come to the table with so many ideas and so many exhibitors and streams and features and themes we're going to implement. And it's just impossible, to go from 0 to 100. So for this year, as Molly's mentioned, we have grown our CPD sessions, we've grown our speaker numbers. The floor plan itself has grown by 15%. Theatres are bigger. But, I always say, this year is going to be the best yet. But we've got a 5-year plan. So there's definitely no stopping now. I mean, Therapy Expo, we've got so much room for growth, expansion. I think there's so much still that we could be doing, so many innovative features and offerings at the event. But, I say slowly. It hasn't been slowly. We have grown extensively every year, but there's still a lot more planned. So yeah, watch this space. Yeah.
It's brilliant. It's a great hook if ever there was one. Before we get into it, I'd like to talk a little bit about how it's evolved. I know you've both been involved post-COVID, so kind of particularly you, Charlotte, from 2021 onwards. I'm keen to hear how it has changed over the years. But I thought before we do that, because there's been going to be people who are tuning in this because they want the important information. The elephant in the room is, how can I save some money? What are the codes and things at the moment? If you're an STA member, then there is a code for you guys, which you can get in the latest newsletter. You can get from the STA members only page. You can get from emailing us, matt@thesta.co.uk or gary@thesta.co.uk, and you can get that code. We're not going to say it out loud because this is one of the prizes of being an STA member. But I'll give you another little clue that if you become an STA member for like £70 a year or something, you'll get the code and you'll probably save money. So there's another way of doing it, even if you're not an STA member. But there are a lot of offers going out there. What's the current price people are going to be looking at the moment if they're using a code? What are they looking at? What could they be saving?
So the current price of the ticket for the 2 days at the moment is £229. Various organisations, associations, membership platforms are offering 15% discount codes. So that takes the price down to £195.
Yeah.
That being said, we are on a deadline. So Halloween, the clock will strike 12 o'clock and the prices are going up this Friday, the 31st of October. Prices are going up. They're going up to £299. Even with 15% off, it will be £254. So now is absolutely the time to secure your ticket and save some hard-earned money.
Definitely. It means I'm going to get this podcast out tomorrow, which will be the 29th. And hopefully it'll be ready by lunchtime. So people, there's normally, obviously with podcasts, when they first come out, that's when a lot of people hit it. So yeah, if you listen to this, you've got until the 31st, till midnight strikes. I will say you've left it to the lastminute.com, but hey, life can get in the way and you've got a month to go. But if you talk to people, you'll know what Therapy Expo offers, and hopefully saving a little bit of money will help push you over that decision edge and just launch yourself into it. I'm really interested this year because I think feedback last year was some people can only go for 1 day and what can they do. I think we were saying a little bit off air, there is a 1 day ticket available now. Is that right?
There is, and we heard, and we totally get it. Some people can only attend for 1 day, and that there's loads of reasons why. So we totally get it. So for this year, providing that you call our team up, so we've got a delegate telesales team who can literally go from start to finish, register you on the phone, get your ticket purchased. They can run through the 1 day options for you.
That's really cool. I mean, that's a nice example of looking at the feedback from last year, which we'll talk about in a second. But there are people who can only go for 1 day. So I'm going to say a phone number now, but I know there's phone numbers you can get on the website if you go to therapyexpo.co.uk. But if you are listening to the podcast and you want to jot this down, then I'll say it and then you can pause it and repeat it. But it's 0203 978 1665. So that's 0203 978 1665. You'll get through the telesales team, or just go to the therapyexpo.co.uk website and you'll find details there. That's really cool that you're giving that option. It is tricky for some people to do 2 days. If you're umming and ahhing about, should I do 1, should I do 2, and you're deciding about however much it is, if you're umming and ahhing, then do it. If you're not quite sure yet, if you're ambivalent, then I would recommend doing it, because the number of people I speak to who think they're going to go for just 1 day, then they get to network, they meet people, they get a taste of it. It's like a marathon or something. You're suddenly thinking, oh my God, I didn't expect this. And you'll be kicking yourself and thinking, why didn't I organise something? You'll meet people who've organised B&Bs and accommodation, and you'll be so jealous because they're going out Saturday evening, on Wednesday evening. Yeah, and doing something. So if you're on the edge thinking 1 or 2, if you're in that position where you could do 2, I would say do 2, especially if it's your first time, just so you can experience it and not kind of miss out. Plus, you'll get to see so many speakers on day 2 as well, and it'll be so cool for you. So there you go.
The content is different on each day.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't run repeat sessions at all because we've got so many speakers offering the most amazing sessions. So we spread them out across the 2 days. And you're absolutely correct. Most people that maybe say, last year especially, I wish I didn't have to buy the 2 day ticket on day 1. By the end of day 1, we had loads of feedback that thank God, because we can't wait for tomorrow. So, but that being said, look at the conference program, obviously highlight the sessions that are most important to you, and that is how you're going to pick what day you come.
That's really true as well. Each year I commend you on the table. It's so clear on the table and easy to see. Even though it's so many hours and so many speakers, you just scroll and you can see what's in each theatre, and they're divided into topics. So it's not difficult at all to go along and just have a little look at what. I think there's a PDF you can download as well, if I'm right on that. For those people who like to print stuff out and circle stuff with pen and paper, you can do that. So it's all very user friendly, which is, again, I commend you on that. It's cool. So there you go, people. That's the money question out of the way. Just remember to talk to your organisations as well. If you're with someone decent, there should be a code there which can save you money. So, and if you're not with someone decent, then it's not too late to join the STA. And now's a good time to do it. So you can get your Therapy Expo price as well included in it. So, right then, let's talk a little bit. Let's go back a little bit, shall we? Because I think, like you say, every year it gets bigger and better, and so much thought goes into it. So maybe, it started in 2013 in Manchester, which I was at. You guys weren't, because I'm far older than you. You're still both in your kind of late teens. So maybe COVID year was a massive one, because that's the only year when it hasn't been around. Then it came back at 2021, which was so weird. It's just such an amazing memory. And I think a really happy memory. It's a bit weird, first of all, but then people really celebrated the fact we could kind of mix with each other, and it was great. But you guys joined, well, Charlotte, you joined 2021, did you, the team?
Well, I joined Closer Still Media, who run Therapy Expo in 2020. It was so my career has been in running trade shows, bridal trade shows. I did that for 10 years, and then chose to move companies, and we went into a pandemic, so it was sod's law. Worked at Closer Still Media for a year during COVID. As you can imagine, for an events company, COVID wasn't the most ideal time. But we ran several different virtual events, all fine. And then 2021, I got given Therapy Expo, and I got the handover just said, it's an add-on to the occupational therapy show. Those that came pre-COVID will remember. It was a fairly small event, lovely event, very highly sought after event, but it was a small event. And the handover kind of said, small industry, will only require me to run it. And that was that. So I went to 2021 and spoke to as many people. Gary will remember, because I was with him for a good few hours at the end when I could finally get a chance to talk to him. Spoke to delegates, exhibitors, speakers, sponsors, and just went from there, really. And here we are, 68% in growth in floor space. So it's grown by more than half. Theatres are far bigger. Again, watch this space for next year, because we've got big plans with theatres. We have several open air hands-on workshop sessions for more interactive content. We're working with the best partners, governing bodies in the industry. We've got the most amazing sponsors. Exhibitor-wise, I urge everyone to go and look at the exhibitor list, because it really will blow your socks off. And I've got the best team. That's the other thing. I really do work with, I work with the best. So yeah, sorry, have I answered your question? I've just
totally and more. No, it's lovely to hear. No, it's great I feel your enthusiasm for it, and it's great. I love the fact you mentioned the team, because you are a great team, and everybody we have contact with, whatever department it is, you're so quick at getting back, and things get done. And I don't know how. I don't think it's because there's so many of you. I just think you're all very passionate about it, and you just. Yeah, time management must be incredible, and you must all get on really well together to make the whole beast move smoothly. And it's interesting as well, because COVID was a time when a lot of people with other types of education realised a lot of video courses came out, a lot of online stuff, consultations and stuff. And that's when a lot of people didn't make it out of there. And a lot of kind of education providers thought, I just have to go online now. And that's a real shame. But you must have done something quite special, because you put on something after COVID and then started a snowball effect, and it grew. Do you know how? Wow.
I work in events, and I clearly believe that people buy people. I get paid to talk for a living. I love building relationships. I love meeting new people. At the end of the day, I come from the bridal industry, which is completely different. And Therapy Expo is, you've got a clinical and vocational delegate profile, and everyone involved has real high intelligence. You know, I'm listening to all these amazing products and services that are available for clinicians. And let's be real, you know, none of us are clinicians, but what we know how to do is run an event, build a relationship, and listen. The most important part of my job is listening to the things that we do well and the things we don't necessarily do as well, or listening to what people need. You know, we are running an event for an industry to allow people to network, get their education, get excited. My main goal is for people to come into Therapy Expo and go, wow, what an experience. I can't wait for next year. And that's really what keeps me going. You know, the after show video, the content, resharing everyone's content, seeing everyone interacts. And I mean, Molly's mum comes to the event as a neurotherapist, and yeah, her feedback was actually my favorite. She had the best time.
She's got a bit of bias there. What's she going to say to Molly? Yeah, didn't really work this year, Molly. Sorry.
I don't know. She was very honest. Yeah.
Oh, really?
She's my harshest critic, and she had some good words, so I'll take it as a win.
That's great. No, it's amazing. I mean, again, just absolutely amazing that you have managed to make it grow. You're doing something awfully right, because there's such a trend in our industry just to look at sometimes free CPD offered online, and it's just not the same. We're really trying to give the message out in the STA and the ST school. Anna Maria obviously is your biggest fan. She's always
I'm her biggest
amazing.
fan. I love her. I adore Anna Maria.
Yeah, it's just we're just trying so hard just to help people understand that our catchphrase has kind of become, you don't pay for these conferences just for the information. If that was true, then you could download a PDF or watch a video. You pay for being there in person, interacting with people, reflecting, you know, being there with speakers, teaching you or educating you in such a way that you are involved. And it's, you know, you obviously doing a lot of that, because it's making people realize, no, I've got to be there for this. This is not going to be a catch-up video or another video which is going to add to my playlist, which I'm never really going to watch, you know. So it's good. Yeah. Molly, how's it been for you? You joined a little bit later, didn't you? We've had Liam on the show. This is, I think, this is the fourth time. I think this is the fourth or fifth count. Oh, no, it's since 2021. So, yeah, this is the fifth countdown to Therapy Expo we've done. We started off with wonderful Liam, who's still with the organisation.
Indeed, yeah.
Indeed, very much so. And then he handed over to Molly Benson. So what year was that? I can't remember now.
So I joined the company in 2023, but so I came to the 2023 event that Liam had done the content for. So I got to meet a lot of people. I got to see what it is that I'd be doing. And then I started that show cycle sort of January time, 2024. So yeah, I did the 2024 show, and that was really good fun, and it was amazing. And then I started for 25. So this will be my second edition. So yeah, still a bit of a newbie, but still very much in love with the show, and really passionate about what I'm doing.
So you watched the 2023, then 2024 was your baby, and what kind of did you see maybe in 2023 where you thought, okay, now I'm the boss, I'm going to make some few changes here? Was there things already you had ideas and thought, because you're very mild-mannered and quiet, but I imagine to do what you do, underneath that calm exterior, there's got to be something inside which is burning quite bright and thinking, no, I'm going to get this done. Or you wouldn't have the job.
I definitely had some ideas. That's for sure. I think the first one that I really wanted to implement was the sort of streams. So previously we just sort of had theatre A, B, and C, and the content was just, you know, you pick and choose what you want. And it did work because of the multidisciplinary approach. But I sort of thought a lot of people were saying that if they wanted to filter by topic, that would be a lot easier to help decide and plan their days. So we sort of implemented the streams. So in doing the research, I was asking people, okay, if you had to sort of rank your top 3 topics that you're really interested in at the moment, what would they be? Did a big sort of grouping project and figured out some streams, and then sorted all the sessions into them so that people could have some sort of cohesive plan for the day of what they wanted to do. And it wouldn't just mean sort of sitting in the same theatre all day. You'd be able to bop about, see exhibitors in between, grab some lunch, that sort of thing. So that was something I was really keen on doing. And I think it worked really well for 24. So yeah, we've gone ahead with 25, and it seems to be working again so far. So I'm pleased with how it's coming along.
Fantastic. Nikki is mentioned here in the comments. And everybody, if you've got some questions, now's the time to ask about what's coming up or what you like, what you don't like. Nikki Mansfield says, I've been going since 2016. 2021 to 2024 are by far the best years yet for education, quality, and community vibe.
Amazing.
Nikki Mansfield. That must sound nice.
Thank you, Nikki.
Glad to hear it.
amazing.
So let's go. I mean, it's already somehow 8:30, but yeah, let's have a little look at what we have got. I suppose you may as well give quite a lot away because it's to get people along. But what have you got this year that you're kind of excited about and proud of?
You go first, Molly.
I was going to say, so we got 2 brand new theatres, which we're really happy about. We've got the Business Advice Theatre, which came off the back of a lot of, obviously, sort of crunch financial times at the moment. A lot of people wanted sort of help with clinic. What do I track? What do I look at? But also sort of career development, like what do I want to do with my job? Where do I see myself in the future? So we've sort of accumulated that all into a nice theatre with a lot of different content, a lot of very engaging, inspirational people who have been there, done that, ready to share their insights. So I'm really, really excited about that theatre. And then we've got the practical skills space, which is, again, for a hands-on profession. It's where you're going to get your hands on. It's where you're going to be able to try things, see people doing things, and sort of learn in a more practical way. So again, I'm really excited about that. We've got some good speakers lined up there.
That's really cool.
I think those are the 2 things that I'm buzzing for this year.
And again, it's commendable because I know that's 2 bits of feedback which have come back, and also just where the industry is moving. Hopefully, people are realizing now that rather than just having another modality to learn, there's nothing wrong with that, but have you ever stopped and thought, what about my business skills? Maybe I should be talking to somebody to help me actually run a business, which typically you don't get helped when you learn your course, even when you do your degree. There's not enough. Everyone says, you don't learn until you open up your clinic, and then it's all a surprise. And it shouldn't really be that way. You should be learning how to run a business before then. So a whole theatre dedicated to that is really cool. And I urge people to have a look through that. And even if you think, I don't think I need that, just go along and get a taste. Go and have
there's some great sessions in there, right from sort of starting out.
Yeah.
Right up to sort of like, okay, I've got my clinic now, how do I grow it? So any stage of your business, any stage of your career, there's something for everyone in there.
Even things like marketing, AI, using TikTok, handling insurance and VATs, and there's loads of stuff. On the website, again, Business Advice Theatre, all the sessions are listed there. And it's essentially tips, advice from people that are doing it well and that want to share their knowledge. And that is really Therapy Expo is about bringing each other up, supporting each other and sharing tips and advice. And that's really the sense of community we want to bring to the Business Advice Theatre.
It's very cool. That's great. And the practical space you mentioned, that's really cool as well, because a lot of people who go along, it did, like you say, used to be kind of more physiocentric, and then now you've managed to grow and make it truly into a multidiscipline event. So the practical side is really cool to see. And also there's a bit of a movement now to, I think, there was a time when it was like hands off. It was like people were saying it's either hands on or hands off. And now we're realizing, no, hands on is part of most patient care. There's going to be some element of hands on mixed with other things. So what sort of stuff is going to be going on in the practical area then?
We've got so much.
What is it going on?
Such a long list in front of me right now. But things like lymphatic drainage, massage for lower back pain. What else? Vocal massage therapy, taping techniques, heat treatment, foot rehabilitation. It's it's extensive. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot of familiar faces, but also a lot of brand new people on the scene, people that are doing really cool things and have come along to share it. And I think what I'm really keen to see in these sessions is, yes, there'll be demonstration. Yes, there'll be a certain sort of speaker and audience interaction, but there'll also be follow-up from it. There'll be questions. There'll be, would you like to come and see how this is done from different angles? It's a very interactive space, which is obviously very different to our lecture theatre styles. So I'm really keen to see people sort of branch out in their learning styles.
That's really cool. That's some music to my ears. Fantastic. Great 2 examples. Charlotte, what are you excited about this year?
Just being there for me. The exhibitors, I said it previously, but the wealth of exhibitors that are supporting us this year is just nuts. We've got Hyperice, Hydrophysio, Physique are going to be there. Physique are also sponsoring the MSK Theatre and doing loads more education style sessions. We've got Vivo Barefoot and Leguano coming to the show. We've got obviously the 𝐴𝐷𝐸 anti-gravity with Sports Med. Scream My Bones are going to be there. We've got the fitness group. I could go on forever. We have the coolest products available. And I guess what actually buzzes me up is when you see all these offers, and if you buy your consumables at Therapy Expo, get X amount off, and seeing people really gravitate and try machines and equipment and products and services that they've maybe never got in front of before. And online, when they're looking online, one, you can't ask questions online, rarely, you have to wait for an email back. Two, you want to try products and services before you buy, but also the price, the online prices compared to the prices that you get when you commit or purchase at Therapy Expo is just nuts, and people walk away feeling like they've got a bargain, they've got a product and service that is essentially going to make them more money or help them do their job better. They're almost excited to go back to clinic to implement these the new equipment or the new training course, start the new training course. I think it's the exhibitors and the excitement from the visitors, the interactions that I'm most excited about, and I always love being part of as well.
That's great. We should really, actually, I've forgotten about Vernon, which is terrible of me, but we should mention that Vernon, I'm sure Vernon had a very important role in that. Vernon is the business development manager. What is his responsibilities, and what do you think? I suppose he'd be looking forward to the same sort of thing with the exhibitors that they've got this year.
Yeah, so the way Vernon kind of joined the team is he was one of those people. He was one of our exhibitors when I joined. He's an ex-clinician as well from the military, and he essentially was, giving me some industry knowledge and telling me about all the people he knows. So I said, "Come on, Van, come and join the team." So Vernon now brings in the likes of ERIs and PTIs from the military, heads of medical from elite sports clubs, and that's across football, rugby, tennis, cricket, English National Ballet, Bupa, Nuffield, Ascenti, Ramsey. So he kind of connects Therapy Expo to certain delegates to bring them to the event, and he's also in charge of looking after, based on the streams that we're running, what sort of exhibitors align well with the stream. So if we've got a particular stream for sports therapists, okay, well, what company do we need exhibiting that is going to align well, that our delegates are going to appreciate seeing at Therapy Expo? That's what Vern does. He's a busy guy.
He's very busy on the day. I don't know, maybe I'm looking for him, but he's the person I see moving around so much. Every corner I turn, I bump into Vern. I'm like, how many there are you? Have they cloned you this year or something? He just moves around everywhere. I keep bumping into him.
It's true.
It's going to be fun. That's good. And I think it's worth saying, again, I know, again, from feedback we get, not everybody obviously goes there to buy stuff from the exhibitors, but I think people need reminding that it's, to a very large extent, it's the exhibitors who pay for the everything else in terms of the education and the floor space and the ticket price and everything. So even if you personally aren't there to buy anything from the exhibitors, they're there to help the rest of the thing happen, aren't they? So it's important. It's really cool that they are coming along and interested in it, because I think that kind of puts some people off in the feedback we get. But it's, you're biting off your nose to spite your face if you think, there should be less exhibitors. No. Let the exhibitors come in. Let them come in and show their wares, because that's what allows you to put on such a great show with all the speakers and everything. You mentioned, Molly, that you got some new speakers this year, which is great, because I mean, one of the other bits of feedback we get sometimes, I mean, you can't please all the people all the time, but one of the ones that was repeated was, it's a bit the same speakers again. How do you find fresh talent? How do you find fresh people to get in? Is that what you mean by doing research from as soon as it finishes, yeah?
Yeah, there's a couple of alleyways really. One's partly through research, so I do a lot of reading in the initial stages, reading articles, doing sort of deep dives. So I pick up a lot of names that way, of people that haven't potentially even thought about speaking before, but I reach out to them and it turns out to work out quite nicely. But I also rely quite heavily on the networks that I've built. So I think through recommendations from our advisory board, through people I built relationships with, through working on the show, everyone's so happy to sort of recommend a colleague or sort of recommend something that they've read about or that they've been watching, someone that could be really exciting and bring something new to the table. So it is sort of just through my own personal Therapy Expo network that I find these new people.
I think that's how the snowball effect works, isn't it? And why it does get bigger, maybe because if you're networking and pleasing people, then they're willing to bring along their colleagues and recommend you. So it's worth putting that effort in, isn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, we got some cool people coming along that I'm very excited about.
Have you got any surprises that you're not allowed to talk about? Don't tell me what the surprise is, but are there a few things which you think people aren't going to know about? Is there some things?
There's no secrets as such. There's a couple of recent ones that perhaps have made it to the website but haven't made it to specific announcements yet. So I recently spoke to Dr. Chris Rosimus from the FA, who's going to come along and do a session on nutrition and sort of what he does with the first teams. So I'm really excited for that one. We've got Michael Turner, the medical director from the International Concussion and Head Injury Research Foundation. So again, sort of someone that I'd never spoken to before, someone that had never spoken at our conference, and we thought we'll match a very popular topic, concussion, with a brand new speaker and see what happens. So yeah, I'm really excited for some of the new names that are appearing this year.
Jeremy Lewis.
Oh yes, of course, yeah, big name on there.
Jeremy Lewis, he's also doing a practical skills session, so it's
Anna
not
Maria
just
does not stop talking about that. Yeah, she's.
Yeah, I think we need to get some security on there for her.
Well, now you
For
see
loads of
Anna Maria
people.
now. Yeah.
Yeah,
She's
we've
small,
had
but
loads
she
of
can move. Yeah.
Yeah. She'll fight.
Oh, wow.
That's really cool. Yeah, sounds very exciting. In terms of, it's so tricky, isn't it now? Because with a month to go, things like accommodation should have been booked already. And I remember we've done countdowns in the past saying, because I noticed that you guys, and I wanted to ask you about this, I noticed on social media that there was, I think, more of a, push is the wrong word, just more information going out earlier on just to try and help people realise, do something now. Like now's the time to book ahead. Don't wait until 2 months. Was there a difference in social media? Was that something you were trying from earlier on to help inform people?
We focused, I think previous editions of Therapy Expo has been, early bird, early bird, early bird, early bird, early bird, early bird a week before the show sort of thing. And it just never really made sense to me. So the marketing that we've grown the marketing team, number one, and we've especially tried to push more of the educational content behind Therapy Expo. So it's not only who are you going to see and what do they do, it's okay, right, how going to this speaker's session is going to benefit you as an individual attending Therapy Expo, and how can you implement that products from this exhibitor into your clinic, focus very much on the benefits, but also the additional benefits of securing your ticket early. Obviously, we run a tiered ticket system throughout the year. So the earlier you book, if you come to Therapy Expo in 4 weeks' time and actually book your ticket while you're at Therapy Expo, the discount is hefty. You really do get a cheaper rate, and that is the benefit of booking earlier on in the year, getting cheaper accommodation earlier on in the year, access to exhibitors earlier on, access to the program, access to different benefits. But that being said, there are still accommodations still available. I know the Hilton, I believe, is offering a special discount on anyone involved in Therapy Expo. There are Airbnbs still available. So yeah, don't let that put you off. There's still very much a lot of availability.
Yeah, there's definitely Airbnbs available. I know that from people, talking to people. They're still around. And I've never done Airbnb before Therapy Expo, just like I've never really got an Uber. I don't really go out much. So it was like, but now people are introducing me to Airbnbs. It's incredible the price you can pay if you find a property, especially if you really are with good friends and you want to share 2 in a room, 2 separate beds, then you can pay very little amounts of money to get just around the corner from Therapy Expo. So yeah, look into Airbnb in particular. And it is, definitely still available. And also what you said is really interesting as well, because if people are thinking, it's going to cost too much this time, how much do you know offhand how much you could get a ticket for 2026 for if you go to this show?
I'll be honest with you, we are still looking at the ticket price structure for next year. I can't say too much, but watch this space. We've got a lot of surprises coming up. So I think ticket prices on site are going to be coming to Therapy Expo 2025 and booking a ticket whilst you're there is going to be very beneficial. You are going to reap benefits, and that is all I'm saying.
Well, could you say 2 figures or 3? You can't say, could you?
Substantially lower than it has been before.
Really? So a couple of digits then?
We're trying to support the industry. You know, we're seeing so many things pop up, so many different expenses pop up for clinicians, and what we're aiming to do, the team are going to kill me for going into this, but we really are, for 2026, we want to support the industry as best possible, and that's going to be through so many different variables. This year is a glimpse into what Therapy Expo has been, and you know, a progression based on 2024. 2026 is really going to blow everyone out the park, I think.
Oh, she's good, isn't she? She's good. It's not giving
It's
anything
true.
away, but just still, yeah, no,
I'm telling the truth. Yeah. I am really personally buzzing to get on site this year, first and foremost, and then to work on 2026. I cannot wait.
Okay, so
I can't say too much.
So there's another reason to, if you're ring-ahhing about coming this year, then yeah, take advantage maybe of something that seems to be brewing out there quite special for 2026. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I can't guarantee. I just want to make sure that people. I'm not giving any guarantees here. You can't. There's no such thing as the perfect thing for everybody, and it's all very individual and what you know and whether you like being amongst loads of people. Some people don't. So, but all I can say is that the reason that like the STA and the ST School have been involved for so long, well, since the beginning in the case of the STA, is because it's a good outfit and it has evolved. Okay, at the beginning there was a few little things, and I stopped speaking for a few years when I thought, hold on, this isn't. They told me to stop talking about pain. It's like, that doesn't quite work. But then since COVID, it's just, it grows and grows. And just to remind you, in case you see that, for example, the ST haven't got the STA Theatre this year, but that's not because we've given up on Therapy Expo. We'll still be there as a stand. We're just excited to see other things develop, and we've been doing our own commons and stuff. And the same for the ST School. There's not a hands-on hub this year, but there's still going to be a massive practical session. It's just Anna Maria also wants to take a step back. And Anna Maria and I are so excited because the first time probably in the history of Therapy Expo, we'll be able to actually walk around and go and see different things and network and talk to people and get an idea of how people are, face to face, rather than being stuck in our own cocoon and having to deliver in a fraction of the event. So I can't wait for it. Gary,
we can actually go and have a coffee.
I know. Well, but it's different. I can have a coffee and listen to someone, as opposed to just having a coffee thinking I should have had another one, just jittering and not really taking in anything someone's saying to me. I can make time and think I haven't got to be anywhere. I haven't got to walk around with bits of paper. And really that's what it should be like for attendees. You should go along there calm, relax. You haven't got to go and see anyone. Make your own little timetable, but be flexible, because you might meet someone there, have a chat, and it might not, hopefully it won't go to plan, because that's where the best learning happens. So the more chilled you can be and the more you can talk to people, then generally that's going to be the biggest learning experience for you. So very exciting. Have we got any questions coming in? The people in the house here, if you're not going to Therapy Expo, maybe tell us why. Share why you're not going. If you are going, then tell us what you're looking forward to. But we'd love to have some questions from you. And if you listen to the podcast and you'd like to ask a question or share some experience, whether it's positive, negative, whatever you want, then I would recommend putting it on YouTube, because the YouTube comments is just better. And I get emails, I get notifications. So anything you want to know, I can pass on to the Therapy Expert team. I'll make sure we get an answer to it. So if you're listening to the podcast, then if you've got a question, put it on the YouTube feed. It just stays, got bigger shelf life, it'll stay there and we can answer it and stuff like that. So
the best conversations I have are people who have said, I've never been to Therapy Expo, it's just maybe not for me. And then of course I'm interested to see what we can do. My goal is I will listen to every single person and adapt the show to suit everyone. I want there to be something for everyone. And you guys know your business better than I do, but all I can say is look at the program, look at the exhibitor offering. look at the governing bodies, the membership platforms, the sponsors that we work with. And if you see the benefit, or if there's a session that you'd love to come along to, please do come along. And if you're coming in a group, again, call our delegate telesales team, let us know, and we can do something on the ticking price for you to make sure it's feasible.
Very cool. I'm going to bring up some of the comments here that people have been putting in now. Nikki Benson, again, she says, the team's approach to research for this year's show has been really good. I've been contacted by 3 different team members for detailed feedback and recommendation chats. Super proactive. There we go. That's working nicely.
Amazing.
Nikki's been incredibly helpful.
Gary Benson, founder of the STA, who's here, has said I think this is Gary Benson. I've never seen Gary Benson 4260, but yeah, we'll presume it's Gary. No one would pretend to be Gary, because you may as well sign your life away. Somebody tried that once and it didn't end well. Right, most STA members who attend book a year in advance. Yeah, I mean, it is a little bit of education there. So yeah, but it is. Let's just go back to Nikki here before I pass up. Nikki says, yes, I've always bought my ticket for next year whilst still at the show. I'm well happy I'm going to be so richly rewarded for my decade-long commitment. Ha, ha, ha.
Oh, Nikki, you wait.
Oh, Nikki, you're so fine. I thought you were going to say...
And that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. That's Nikki, yeah. I was going to say, actually, it's interesting you say it's getting the new people in, isn't it? Because obviously people who go there 3, 4, 5 years in a row, they're going to have a whole different series of like, oh, I wish you could have this, because they've experienced it. But what do you think you do effectively, or what do you try and do which gets the person who's never been there before to come along? Because I talk throughout the year of the podcast, I'm obviously contacting people in universities and things, and I get people, I can't remember who it was, but I won't say who, but they work at university, and they talk to their first year students physiotherapy, and they were like, therapy what? And they're in Birmingham. So how is that? I know, I'm sorry if that makes your blood boil, but how do you manage to get your word out there rather than just online?
I tell you what, this is what makes our job so exciting. The fact that there are still people in the UK that have never heard of Therapy Expo.
Lots. I think it's really healthy to remember that, but how do you get them?
Yeah. So we, everyone knows marketing budget is big. So we do a lot of marketing adverts and brand awareness. But what I think we do, which is most important, is we have a whole team of people who call personally and have a discussion. It's not necessarily about selling tickets. It's about talking to people about what their needs are. Because like I've mentioned, I talk till I'm blue in the face. It is literally, we are paid to create an event that people want to come back to, that clinicians, physios, chiros, osteos, sports therapists, this event is created for you. And if it's not working, then we're doing something wrong. And to be completely transparent, I want delegates and exhibitors to come back, because it makes my life easier. And the more we're supported and the more we're growing, and the more opinions and input and collaborations we have as a network all under one roof, the show just thrives on that. And that is, I'm proud to say, what has been happening. And I mentioned previously, again, we've got a 5-year plan, and I'm super excited about 2030. 2026, oh my God, can't wait. But 2030, I really think, I think that's where we're going to be really thriving. I think that is the time of when Therapy Expo is going to get to the point where it should be, because there's so many aspects of the industry that we're still not tapping into. There's so many clinicians that aren't coming to Therapy Expo, and it's a lot of work. We're a large-ish team, but there's only so many conversations we can have every day. So we're growing our telesales team, having those conversations. We meet every single week, all of us, and we have a chat, a get together. We snowball ideas. Working with the advisory board, working with our partners and clinicians that come to the event, the MSK organisations. This year we've got FSEM, MACP and BASRAT supporting the MSK conference. We've got so much input, and it's just really exciting to get those people that haven't been, offering them something where they go, okay, yeah, I want to come now, and then seeing them repurchase their ticket every year. it really is a proper dopamine hit for us.
I think for me as well, some of the most interesting conversations I've had, especially sort of further out from the events, are speaking to people that I have never even heard of it. They're people I've just sort of stumbled across on social media. And it's really interesting to understand why they might not have ever considered coming to shows like this. Like you say, they get sort of stuck in a bubble of doing online CPD, or they're just quite happy within their small clinic. But actually, when they realise that there can be huge benefits of sort of breaking out of the silos, or even just trying some different bits of CPD that they might not have even considered before, can actually be incredibly interesting. And I sort of take it as a challenge upon myself. Every sort of reason they're firing at me of why they'd not thought about coming or why they might consider not coming, I'm sort of like, okay, how can we make a show that responds to as many of these as possible in a way that then works for everybody? So I think it is really important to continue to sort of get new people along and adapt the show to the feedback that we're hearing. But likewise, we're so grateful for our sort of fan base and our familiars that we see year on year. You know, we rely so heavily on them for support and feedback and guidance. So yeah.
Well put. Like it. Yeah, it's good. I think there are so many people who still haven't heard it, and I'm always just paranoid almost of that. We're not reaching, we're a drop in the ocean, and it is great the work you do. And once people get there, they can come along to the STA stand obviously and get even more informed, go along to the ST School in Anna Maria, and all the other people there come along at 3:50 at Theatre B on day one and learn loads about communication. But yeah, getting new people there is so important for the industry. There is a bubble we live in on social media, and we need more people who don't use Facebook. We need more people who just hear about it by some other kind of message. So it's really cool to hear the work you're doing on that. Wow, look, it's already 5 to 9. That went quickly, didn't it?
That's flown. Yeah,
flown. When you're talking about good times, time flies. So really excited.
I've only
about
had
that.
one cup of tea.
Do we need a shout out for the person who bought you that cup of tea, or do they not go?
We do. Chris is a good tea maker.
There you go. Well done,
Well
Chris,
done.
on keeping Charlotte Speer fueled. That's fantastic. No, very exciting. So just to repeat then, October the 31st is a significant date, especially for those of you who are umming and ahhing. Now it really is your last chance over the next, till the 31st to save 15% off the current price. And that includes people who've got codes, because the codes are off 15% off the current price. So after October the 31st, it's going to go up. So it really is a shout out to everybody. If you've decided not to go, hey, maybe you'll change your mind. Hopefully this podcast will help you, educate you and give you some information. But if you're umming and ahhing, just do it. Save yourself some money before the 31st. And also the one day, just to remind people, if you're listening to the podcast now, and those people listening at home, then call this number 0203 978 1665, or go to the website and you'll get details of a one-day ticket there, which I think is really cool because a lot of people just can't make 2 days. End of. Okay, so this is a good opportunity to get that return ticket, no accommodation, and still appreciate a day of networking and learning in person, which has got to make the world a better place. I've said the website, that's therapyexpo.co.uk. If you do want to follow on social media, then we've got therapy_expo on Instagram, Therapy Expo on X, Twitter, when it was the good old days. And you've also got Facebook as well, just Therapy Expo. So loads of information and great posts going out there, which will keep you informed. But the website's amazing. Just the website you can delve into, and it's so easy to follow. So have a look out on that. Right then, just to let you know what's happening next week. So November the 4th at 8 o'clock, we're going to be continuing the topic of CPD conferences with an episode entitled After Going to an MSK. This is a working title. I think we're going to go for it if it fits into YouTube. After going to an MSK conference, how much actually changes in your clinic? I'm trying to trim that down. But the idea is we're going to talk with 5 therapists who came along to the Hands-on Hub and STA conference back in September in Exmouth and asked them what's changed 6 weeks later actually in their clinics. A little bit of reflection on, I've been to this educational thing, how much am I doing differently? And I'm thinking now actually maybe we'll do the same thing with Therapy Expo. So if you're at Therapy Expo and you like the idea of that, coming on the podcast 6 weeks after Therapy Expo more or less, then come and see me. I'll be either at the STA stand or you'll see me. I'm tall and got a beard. I think that probably narrows it down. But yeah, I'd like to have people who've been there come on the show 6 weeks and tell me how much of it, because I think, like you said already, Charlotte and Molly, that's your goal, isn't it? To give information which will actually work in clinic, which will make a difference, rather than just making you tick a box saying, oh, I've gone to see so and so, they were amazing. How much has that affected you, and more importantly, your patients or clients, because that's what it's all about for the industry. So we're going to talk about that next week, and we'll talk about what ingredients help that happen. And that might be interesting for anybody who's going to Therapy Expo, because I think it is a case of sometimes changing the chip in your own head when you walk through the door. And like we say, not rushing around, not trying to fit in as many presentations as possible. There's other ways to learn, better ways to walk away with something. So we'll talk about that next week. And if you want to join us live, then again, that'll be 8 o'clock on Tuesday, November the 4th, which leaves me just to say thank you so much to Molly Benson.
Thank you for
Molly,
having us.
and Charlotte Speer.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you for your passion. And it's, if I wasn't excited already, I'm even more excited now. So
Me too.
I hope the next 4 weeks go smoothly for you. I know it's going to be a roller coaster of emotions, but I also know that it's just going to be a cracking couple of days, and it's all going to come together. So all the best. Good luck over the next 4 weeks.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
But
Thank you.
it's going to be amazing. I look forward to seeing you both. Everyone who's joined us live, thank you very much. Appreciate it. If you've listened to the podcast, then please do leave a rating or review and subscribe. It's the only way this information gets out there. It's a really important way for our industry. Google will operate like that. So if you just tick the box and subscribe, it's free, or just leave a review or a rating, then the good word comes up higher in Google. It's as simple as that. It's free, but it's a way of disseminating quality information. So please do that. Until then, take care of yourselves and of each other. And hopefully we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.